The United Nations Food Agency has raised concerns over the growing level of food insecurity in South Sudan. By next month, more than 100,000 South Sudanese are expected to be in a challenging situation due to the lack of adequate food, according to the World Food Programme. Despite government's efforts, about 60% of the country's population could face food scarcity in 2021. Details in this report.
The World Food Programme says by next month, around 108,000 people in South Sudan are expected to be in level 5 famine classification, which is a catastrophe stage of food insecurity. The acute food shortage is mainly in the eastern and northern parts of the country.
The people of South Sudan are suffering from an accumulation of shocks over the last few years, whether it be climate change, with the 2 years of unprecedented flooding that the country has faced, whether it's economic decline caused by the depreciation of the South Sudanese pound, the very significant increase in the cost of food in the country, and of course what has happened because of COVID-19 in terms of the interruption to supply chains and that's impact on the cost of living in the country.
The United Nations says there is an increase in the level of intercommunal violence which is disrupting agriculture. It warns that unless the insecurity problem is resolved, the country will continue to experience food shortages. The World Food Programme says an estimated 7.2 million people, representing 60% of the country's population, are expected to face high levels of acute food insecurity this year. South Sudan's government says it is working to address the problem of insecurity and support agriculture development in the country. The government says it has signed an agreement with the World Bank worth $113 million to support farmers with supplies like fertilizers, ox plows and insecticides to fight desert locusts.
The government is turning to agriculture and other related ministries to see how they can support the country, how they can support the economy, how we can grow enough food, not just for ourselves, not just for our families, but enough food to sell and eventually to export to the neighboring countries.
The United Nations World Food Programme says it needs funds to provide tools and training for those facing food insecurity. The organization wants to help people recover from the shocks and promote resilience in South Sudan.